like 4? 5 is good. 5 is good. No, that's fine. Because we're only going to have 3 people up here. Thank you. I like that. Non-advancing team.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
Here are some notes regarding the game that just finished. Michigan State advances to play Kansas on Sunday. Game time is TBA. And I've been told that there won't be announcement of game times until all the games are finished tonight. So there'll be some finishing later than ours. Sunday's matchup between Michigan State and Kansas features the 6th and 7th winningest teams in NCAA tournament history. Kansas is 101-44 for 6th in winning percentage. Michigan State 64-29 for 7th. Tonight's attendance 14,715. In 31 all-time NCAA appearances, 31 appearances, the Spartans have never lost their first game in back-to-back years. As you remember, Michigan State lost to Middle Tennessee in the first round last year in St. Louis. And here's the big one. Today's win ended a 7-game losing streak for Michigan State on St. Patrick's Day.
I'm not Irish. I'm Italian.
Spartans' only win on March 17th came in 1990 against UC Santa Barbara. So there you go. Tom Izzo is here with his Spartans, Miles Bridges and Nick Ward. We're going to ask him to make a statement on the game. Then we'll go to questions for all 3 Michigan State gentlemen. Tom, please.
Well, the game started out in an incredible manner for us. I mean, I don't sleep any nights worrying about Nick getting in foul trouble. just because of our lack of depth at that position. And he set not only a North American record, but a Michigan State record. He got one, said 2 seconds. It had to be less than that. So I hope he wants to get in the record books for more than fastest foul. But we were really shaky early. We turned the ball over a lot early. We responded like a bunch of freshmen, to be honest with you. We weren't as sharp as we needed to be. Give Miami credit. They took it to us. And after that first 7, 8 minutes, I thought we played some of the best basketball we've played, not only this year, but in a couple of years. We moved the ball. We guarded. We took away, I think, the things that are strengths. Our whole mantra was to try to own the paint and keep them out of there. And I'm telling you, Miami's hard to keep out of there. We did a pretty good job of that. We out-rebounded them. We shot pretty well against a very good defensive team. And I'm proud of these guys. I looked out there one time. There were 4 freshmen, and I think 4 freshmen and Kenny Goins. And I just said, wow, you know, we're throwing a lot at them, but we threw a lot at them all year, and I think they reaped some of those benefits tonight.
Questions? Start right here. Thank you.
For players?
Anybody.
Okay, Jim Comproni, SpartanMag.com. Tom, I just want to ask you, you had to have gotten some leadership from somebody when you guys were on the ropes there a little bit. Did you see anyone grow in that area that helped you, the team, step forward? You know,
I saw a lot of guys grow. You know, I was too mad at Nick for him to lead there for a minute, but you know what? He didn't pout. He didn't sit back. He kind of owned it a little bit, and that was, you know, those are all big steps. But Miles, Tum still does it. Miles, you know, did a little bit. I saw a little bit more out of McQuaid, and Langford had some energy tonight. So I don't know if it was one guy. It was collectively. I don't know. You tell me. You were out there. I wasn't out there. Is there anybody else I'm missing?
Tum and Alvin.
Alvin, yeah. I think Alvin did settle us down a little bit. I mean, we were just so bad with those just very average turnovers. And Cassius after the first stint and Nick after the first stint, I thought those 2 guys maybe played as well in doing what we needed them to do as they've done all year.
Tom, you've kind of questioned your own scheduling this year, but isn't this the time of year it pays off? I mean,
well, I don't think there's any question. I mean, one of the talks we gave in the pregame was about, you know, this is a big game, but we played at Duke. We played Kentucky in Madison Square Garden. We played Arizona on a, you know, out in Hawaii. I mean, we've been on big stages all year long, and I think it hurt us some in the travel and everything. But you'll have to ask them. I think they had confidence that they could play on a big stage. Now, the first 5 minutes, I questioned that, but boy, from then on, I really felt that was a big part of, you know, they weren't intimidated. They didn't get down when they got down, 12, 13, I don't know what we were down. But, yeah, I think it helped us some, I really do.
Left-hand side, gentlemen.
John Tranchina, Associated Press. Just for the players, can you address, so what changed? What was the catalyst for, you know, turning things around for you guys at that point?
Nick, you start us off, then we'll go to Miles.
Well, you know, our energy on defense, you know, how we help side. We just played as a team, really. You know, when we feed off of each other, we're hard to beat.
Oh, yeah, it was our defense, like he said. We're getting big rebounds. I mean, we weren't turning the ball over. Once we stopped turning the ball over, that's when our lead went up, and that's when we got our confidence up.
I'd like to add one thing. You know, Dwayne Stevens, I thought, you know, I have my assistants. Each one gets a team, and this team was Dwayne's, and I thought he did an unbelievable job on things that we kind of threw some things at Miles on where he had to help and what he had to do. And so I'd have to agree with all of them. You know, they followed the game plan. DJ did a great job on the game plan, and I just kind of went along for the ride. It was good.
Right there, and then we'll come back. Okay, go.
Miles, can you tell me, on offense, you guys are having a little bit of trouble with their zone offense initially. I think you guys might have been looking to feed the foul line a little bit. Was that true? And how did you guys finally figure out that zone?
We were looking for home run passes to start off. And once we started moving the ball around, getting into the middle, we were getting easy layups, and we're offensive rebounding. So that really helped us too.
Matt Galloway, the Topeka Capital Journal. Coach, you have some experience playing KU in recent years. What's your initial thoughts of this year's team? I know you were at similar sites with them earlier in the season.
Yeah, you know, Bill and I, we've, you know, when he was at Illinois, I mean, you know, we're friends. We've been on the board together, and we've played them a lot. I mean, almost every year. We're either, not every year, but we're playing them in the NCAA tournament. We're playing that Tournament of Champions. We saw them in Arizona, and I only saw a little bit of them tonight, thank God. I saw the good part when they were only up 4, was 8 minutes left, and then they ambushed UC Davis. But, you know, they got a good team. They got a veteran team. They got all those seniors, juniors, and then Josh is, you know, a heck of a player. But, you know, we get to work again. I told my guys, all I want to do is work another night, you know, and get a chance to go against one of the top teams. You know, hey, guys, we played 3 teams that were number 1 in the country. You know, Baylor, Kentucky, and Duke at one time. We played Arizona that got as high as 3. It's not like I think Kansas is a hell of a team, and I think Mason is an exceptional guard, and I thought Josh is playing at a very high level. But we played a lot of big teams all year. Maybe we can use this again, and yet they're kind of playing in their own backyard. It's going to be fun. You know, I appreciate Bill. I appreciate their program and what they've done. But tonight I appreciate my guys. Nobody will know the year we've gone through. And for them to do what they did tonight speaks volume of the character of the guys I got.
Tom, Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com again. If I'm not mistaken, I think Nick Ward might have made some progress with the ball screen defense against Newton. I imagine you guys worked on that all week. Did you see some progress there in that area?
How long did we work on it, Nick?
Every practice.
Every day. I thought Nick did a better job, and then I'll let him answer it. I thought Nick, you know, we changed our ball screen for another time. You know, we've been adjusting it to try to make up for it. Something Nick struggled with a little bit. Cassius has struggled with a little bit. I thought both guys did a much better job tonight. And I thought, you know, again, my staff did a good job, and we got some time to work on it. So, you know, what do you think, Nick?
Well, you know, the coaching staff's really helped us just help with the ball screens. And, you know, it was hard at first because we wasn't used to all the different types of defenses. But, you know, we got to trust the process. You know, coach knows what he's doing. DJ knows what he's doing. So we just really had to trust it.
Is it on? Sorry. Jim Comparoni, SpartanMag.com. Tom, just in terms of the 40-plus NCAA tournament wins you've had over the years, there haven't been many when you've been on the ropes like that in the first couple of minutes. There may be 1 or 2 I can think of, but I can think of one against Kentucky in St. Louis, your first Final Four. You were a young coach back then against Tubby Smith. I know you couldn't draw on that at all, but did you have belief that this team was going to come back?
Well, I did. I was worried about whether these freshmen would handle the big stage. Even though they've been on one, it's still the NCAA tournament. And the difference with now and the Kentuckys and the Dukes and the Arizonas and the Baylors and all those, and then our conference schedule, the difference now is it's one-and-done time. But, you know, in a way, guys, we've been feeling like it's one-and-done time for about a month now because we had to win big games at Nebraska and some road games and beat Wisconsin at home. You know, this wasn't a typical Michigan State road to the NCAA tournament. And I don't know. You know, I told these guys, I've had a lot of good teams. I've had a lot of great guys. I've never, ever, and coaches say this, had a team that has stuck together like these guys. And I think it starts with the 2 best players that are sitting up here are egoless and have adjusted with the seniors. The seniors give Aaron Harris some credit, too. And he's hung in there with us all week. And Elvin Ellis have accepted him. And what a cool thing to watch happen. And I'd like to keep it going a little while. Unfortunately, there's a buzzsaw in front of us, but we've had that all year. Might as well do it one more time.
Tom, Cody Tucker, Lansing State Journal. Can you talk a little bit about Josh Langford's game tonight? He seemed to really step it up there, especially early in the second half.
Well, these guys would agree, you know, in the second half, he started looking for his shot, and then, God, I wanted to kill him because then he had a couple shots he didn't look for, wasn't ready to shoot, and he's been shooting really well in practice. He's, I think, you know, what you saw in him is a maturation, as Nick said, you know, the process. The process is you grow as a player, and these guys have had to kind of grow on their own. There's not a lot of people around them to lead, and I think Josh Langford, you know, these guys have been pretty solid. I thought Josh and Cassius took major steps in the last couple of weeks, really, but tonight, I'd say really, really. So, yeah, Josh Langford was awesome on defense, too.
Anything else for the gentleman from Michigan State? Okay, we were dismissed. Thank you very much. We'll see you Sunday.
Okay.
The Hurricanes from Miami are here. Head coach Jim Larinaga, Davon Reed, and Jaquan Newton represent the Miami. We're going to ask Jim to start off with a statement on the game, then we'll go to questions for all three gentlemen. Jim, please.
Well, I thought Michigan State really controlled the backboards and executed very well. Miles Bridges and Nick Ward basically made every shot almost that they took. One of them was 8 for 9, the other was 8 for 12. We just couldn't stop them, and I thought their guard play was very good at finding open men and carving up our defense. Disappointing to lose, certainly, but even more disappointing that we didn't play the kind of defense that we'd been playing for most of the season. But very, very proud of my guys, very young team that made it to the big dance, and proud of these guys, Jaquan Newton and Davon Reed. I think they stepped up and gave a great effort tonight.
Questions for anyone on the dais? We'll start right here in the center.
Coach, Cody Tucker, Lansing State Journal. You really seem to have MSU rattled and on their heels early. Did you see something change in the game? Did you see something shift that in your opinion?
Well, two things I thought happened. Number one, I thought their defense really picked up and they started to beat us to some of those 50-50 balls. And then second, I think I made a critical decision. We went from the zone to man-to-man, feeling like at some point we were going to have to play a man-to-man, and I wanted to see how we would do. And once we did, Nick Ward came back into the game and really got it going. And then once the momentum shifted from our side, I mean, I thought we played very well the first 10 minutes, to their side, and they basically totally controlled the last 10 minutes of the half, and then were able to keep that control throughout the second half.
Stay here.
Coach, can you talk about what you talked about with the guys in the locker room at halftime and just what you were trying to say to kind of get this thing turned in the other direction?
Well, we explained to our guys that we basically led for the first 10, 12 minutes of the game. Then they went on a run and took control, and they led at halftime. And that we needed to come out of the locker room and try to gain control again, and basically play like we did to start the game. We went back to the 2-3 zone, ran some things offensively that we thought worked early in the game, but we never could stop them. Even on the first possession where we stopped them on the first shot, but they got the offensive rebound and stuck it right back in.
Left-hand side, gentlemen.
John Tranchina, Associated Press. This is for Devon. Just talk about, it looked like you had you only had 3 points in the first half, and you picked it up and played a much better second half. What was the difference for you?
They did a really good job of packing the paint, making it hard for me to try to get into the lane, and they did a good job closing out on, a three-point look for me. So I just tried to adjust at halftime and, try to remain aggressive, but they played really good defense tonight.
Anything else for the gentleman from Miami? All right. Thank you very much. Best of luck down the road.